Hi everyone, just want to check in with you really quick and let you know that we are switching topics. We're moving into a brand new area, so we are leaving phonetics and phonology behind, and this week we're going to start looking at language processing and especially how language works in the brain. So we're going to start off by looking at the anatomy of the brain, different pieces and parts of the brain that do specific functions and how those work and what we know about them so far. As you start to dig into the material a little bit, one thing that you're going to notice is that we don't have clear-cut answers for all of these questions. So there is a problem with studying the brain, and that is that scientists can't just take live humans, cut open their head and start, poking and prodding around in there. How do we know what parts of the brain do what functions? Well, the main way that scientists have determined this is by looking at people who have specific language disorders. So they look at what a particular person cannot do or has trouble with, and then they can scan their brain, or in some cases after the person has died, they can look at their brain, and then they can see what parts of the brain have damage or lesions. And then you can make a pretty strong case that that part of the brain is responsible for doing that particular function. One of the things that they do know is that these different functions are different in different people. So it's not like, the organs of the body where the heart has a very specific function. We know exactly what it does. The liver does such and such, and so on. It's not exactly like that. It's much more complicated. So you're going to start off by looking at a textbook chapter on neurolinguistics, and then taking a quiz on that. Then we're going to look at some case studies of aphasia, which is just the general term for a language disorder that's caused by injury or disease. So not something you're born with, something that happens to you, and as a result you have some kind of language deficiency or disorder. And then finally we're going to round out the week by looking at some different kinds of language and speech processing disorders that affect children, and we're going to have a discussion on that and tie that to classroom practices. Okay, let me know if you have any problems. Hope you have a great 3-day weekend, and I will see you in the discussion. Bye-bye.